Good morning. Welcome to our D&D stream. Our D&D mini painting stream. Yeah. This is Good morning. Yes, we're at Dice and Dungeons. I'm filling in for Greg, who is gone for a family visit. Oh, it's time for a flip. Let's see. There we go. We had a flip. Here, I'll do a bonus flip with this toothpick. There we go. Died for the economy. Yep. So, the future is now, old man. That was Malcolm in the Middle. We last Monday painted this Owlbear. I'm an Owlbear. And we'll be painting this one today. So, yeah. And I did this first one in the classic Owlbear sort of look. The sort of original Owlbear. Is how I painted that one. But we're going to do something a little more interesting with this one. It was mentioned the idea of doing this as sort of a tropical parrot bear. And although the face isn't quite right for a parrot, we could do the coloration for sure. So I figure, why not? Let's see what happens, right? So the first thing we need to sort of decide is the colors to do a parrot bear. I think I could do it in like a classic Scarlet Macaw style. In which case we'd want probably the scarlet red and the deep yellow. Oh, yeah, here's the first Owlbear. Owlbear's on vacation, give them a tacky Hawaiian shirt with a pineapple, medicinal leaves on it. Yeah, I could, well, what I want to do for that is like make a little, like stitch together a little shirt, so, cause like I couldn't just paint it flush on the body, the feathers wouldn't fit, but if I could make a little shirt to put over the front half of the Owlbear. That's pretty good. But yes, this is the original Owlbear that I painted. With its butt. So, yeah. Let's see. We'll probably want, if we go with, you know, there's a lot of different parrot options to go with if we want to do a tropical coloration in addition to the Hawaiian shirt. This sort of the Scarlet Macaw is, I guess, the classic out of parrot, but then there's like the blue Hyacinth Macaw. And I'll probably put little touches of the prismatic colors on it if I'm going that route. But then the question becomes, like, what do I do the bear part as? Would be a part of it. Let's see what. This, for tropical bears, There's the sun bear. And the sun bear's sort of a Southeast Asia tropical bear. They're very funny looking. But it's mostly sort of a black and brown kind of bear. Yes, I saw that video going around. The sun bear that was in the zoo that was standing up, and everyone was like, that's a guy in a suit. But yeah, that's the sun bear. That was pretty funny though. Something. So I'm looking through my paint right now. Somewhere we have like a good kind of darkish gray. They're all speaking. I don't really want to go like full black for it because, yeah, here I'm gonna put a wash on it. So for the undercoat, at least, I'm gonna use this sort of gray, and that'll let me build up. And then I'll use a little more of this brown for the belly. Your color chart. I might not have gotten to it, but I was trying to find those articles that they could confirm if it was because of sun bears. There's already a case of a mastiff being shown off as a lion. I don't know about that specific situation, but sun bears are the smallest bear in the world, and they are about person-sized, so it wouldn't surprise me if it, you know, it's just people like confused. But I gotta be honest, I didn't look into it that much other than just thinking it was a funny video. Real oversight on my part. So we're gonna just start by getting the undercoat going. That will this is a pretty good gray. It's a little dark. Yeah, the neutral gray is a little too light. So this'll do good. Alright, have a good time. Thanks for dropping by so far, Medicinal Fungi. So we're gonna get started. The sun bear has a little brown sort of belly, so I'm going to do that for our I think the sun bear is definitely going horseback riding and snorkeling for sure. The owlbear. They have a dire horse. So, starting with the tummy area, we're just gonna get some basic coverage going. Will serve as our base coat that we can build up off of. I'm gonna follow the same basic marking pattern that the classic Owlbear does. Okay, get that. But we're going to be doing it in Sunbear colors. So like the other Owlbear, let me pull this camera out a little. Like the other Owlbear that I did, we're gonna create sort of a hard edge where the different color zones are, and then we'll go in and sort of blur those lines to create a fur effect on them. So this will be sort of where our underbelly sits on our parrot bear, I guess. And I'm gonna do a little up to the face, because that's what happens on the Owlbear. Just around the beak a little bit. Like that. I'll clean off my brush. Trying to sort of let this dry a little, so I'm going a little slow. Mix up our gray. In this gray, I'm going intentionally a little lighter, because I intend to put a wash over this and it will darken it down. So I don't want it too intensely dark to start with. Now I'll need to be thinking about what my parrot colors will be as I get the base coat in. I kind of jumped down into the brown a little there accidentally, but that's just fine, honestly, because that whole area is going to be a little back and forth. Right now, my primary goal is just coverage. So the basic process will be the same, though. We're going to be getting a base coat on and dry, and then once the base coat is dry, we'll give it a wash, and once the wash is dry, we'll do highlighting and details. So the feathers are probably going to get a different color put over them, but I want to get the parts buried underneath the feathers painted with the base fur color. Problem with painting in gray when you have done a gray primer coat, it's just determining where you've painted already. I don't know why work is work. Hey. This is always like the messiest, worst looking part. When you're just getting the paint base coat in. But it will ultimately, I think, turn out pretty nice. Just gotta get through this part. It is going to be a tropical owlbear. I'm making the body a sun bear, which is a tropical kind of bear. And then once we get the fur put in, we'll be adding on the feathers. We just have to get some of the boring part taken care of first. Have to get the butt. Because what we need right now is just to get the whole thing covered. So when I put the black wash on, all of this gray will tone down quite a bit into more of a black, which is the color of the sun bear. And they have sort of a brown belly and little face bits. So, by going with this color pattern, we should accomplish our sun bear look for the bear part of this mini, and then we'll tackle our parrot section. So, think being the keyword here when I'm painting gray on gray, I think I have all of the gray on there. The bird. The bear? Bird bear? Yes, they are a very large animal. I don't think yeah. Because they're definitely a humongous creature in D&D terms. I think that's like a 6 foot tall guy standing next to it. So they are large. So what I'm gonna do now is just edge in a little with the gray over the brown, and then we'll do the reverse just to muddy up the brown gray split. We don't want it looking exact or hard. Now I'm gonna take the brown and go back away from the center out in order to create sort of interstitial zone. And I should be letting all these paints dry a bit more, but we are. So it looks a little messy, but that is a-okay. This is all part of the process, as it were. I really need some of this paint to dry to accomplish much more at this point, so we're just gonna leave it alone. So our parrot feathers, I'm trying to decide if we're going with a scarlet macaw, a hyacinth, some other type of parrot. If the body is kind of in the black range, maybe something bright like a red would be good to sort of set off against it. So I'm sort of leaning towards maybe a scarlet macaw. Blue and gold and name the bear Zelda. I can do blue and gold. Yeah, I can't just name it Zelda, but I can do blue and gold. Now what I want to do if I'm doing blue and gold, the gold, there, gold. You did name the last bear Owlbear Hootifer Barrington. If we're doing blue and gold, what I'm gonna do actually is use the gold as the undercoat and then add blue on top. Thinking I'll probably end up using this azure blue and gold, and then I might add in a little prismatic blue, a darker prismatic blue later. How are we doing on the drying front? Too bad. So, I'm gonna shake up my gold. Got a little gummy on top. I don't know. Alright. spot of gold. Now we're doing gold for the feathers, and then we'll do blue on top. The gold's slightly translucent, so I don't need to be as careful. And this is all still part of the undercoat. But I won't be applying the blue yet. The blue will come on after the wash, I think. But I want to get some of the gold on the underside of the wash. Start to get paint into it. Yeah, I'm luckily not trying to get them like completely coated right now. A lot of that will be done after the wash. I'm just trying to get the feathers looking kind of the right color. And part of the problem with the feathers is they catch the paint inside on the undersides, so it takes a lot longer to dry because it tends to pool a little. We might have. We've been having a lot of internet issues here. I'm glad I'm able to stream. Half the day yesterday, our internet was all messed up. Somehow I got a little gold on my glove. Wow, the horror. I got a little gold on my glove and then got it on the butt. So that's fun. I'll get to clean up that little spot there. That's kind of where our gold is going to be, and then the blue is going to go on top of that gold. And I need to clean up the booty. So I have the base coat put on here. This is going to be our base coat that gets washed. And then we'll do highlights, details, extra colors, things like that. Once we get the sort of darker shades brought in from the wash. But this is where our tropical owlbear is starting. A reminder of what a regular owlbear looks like. There's a regular owlbear. I'm gonna just let this dry, so I'll take my break now and then we'll finish up after I am back. I know it's early, but I'm faster than Greg at this. And I can't do much until this is dry. But we'll probably have a longer second half because I'll be able to go through it much quicker. So I'll be right back. Hi, we're back. Had some breakfast. Had some coffee, all of that. And we let our little owlbear buddy dry. So, this is our base coat. Where we will be doing a wash next. It's for our tropical owlbear. So we'll be doing a wash, getting it darker, everything like that, and then there'll be blue added on to the gold up here, things like that. So what we want is our black wash. So, we're pretty much going to be giving a full coat to this. We want to darken up the whole owlbear. And then we will be sort of building on top of that dark undercoat. So we're not going to go particularly light on our wash because our goal is to get this sort of dark, especially in the fur texture. But we also want the owlbear fur to be a darker black, or to mimic the sun bear. So you can see it starts to bring out some of the texture in the model. And as we go, this wash will sort of you gotta have doubles of the owlbear. Triples is best. Exactly. See how much it's toning down this gray. And we're not going to bring the gray part up all that much from where it is. We kind of want it to be on the darker side. We'll probably just do a couple little strategic highlights here and there. The areas we're going to really be bringing up and highlighting are the feathers. We'd have to talk with them to try and convince them, but I mean, like, why would they want to turn on each other? They're both cool owlbears. While I was eating breakfast, I saw a funny meme of about fantasy creature design. Oh, hi Elbrager, welcome. And it was like designing a fantasy creature now, and it's some guy like tearing his hair out going like, where do they sit on the food chain? Where do, you know, like, how do they survive? What environment are they in? And then it was designing creatures back then, and it's like, I took all my favorite animals and shoved them together. Yeah, we're working on an owlbear today. Right now we're in the shading portion. We're just getting it kind of darkened before we do highlights. This one we're doing is a tropical owlbear rather than I did a classic owlbear on Monday. So this was my Owlbear classic I did on Monday. But today we're doing a... Thank you. Yeah, I did see your cub, your Owlbear cubs. They were adorable. Today we're doing a tropical Owlbear. So it's a sun bear and a parrot for our tropical flavor. And right now I'm just getting the shaded undercoat put in. Yeah, I saw your Owlbear cubs on Instagram. They're very cute. Right now I'm not too worried about anything getting too dark or anything, because I'm planning to go back over everything. And this is sort of what things like speed paints and contrast paints really save you time on. They do the base coat and the wash all in one, which is very cool. But our collection of yeah, that would be awesome. I think we have the STL channel if you want to post them in there. That would be really cool. We'll have to check the licensing and see if we can paint them on stream or not, but we could definitely paint them in our private time at least. This Owlbear might be from the moon. We don't know. Yeah? Okay, yeah. Throw it up in there. I'll check it out after stream. I'm adding a little extra oomph on the top because from all the pictures of Owlbears I've seen, they tend to be darker on the top and get a little lighter on the way down. So I'm just making the top, the back of the bear a little darker. It'll be a fairly subtle difference, but I think it always helps to think about things like that. But even if it's not a traditional color Owlbear, we can at least match some of the sort of standards that people would expect from an Owlbear. So, you know, our Owlbear is definitely looking a lot darker, which is good. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, they're really cute. Those Owlbear cubs. I was about to say babies, but I think cub would be the correct term. Fledgling? Depends on if it's the bear part or the bird part. Okay. So I'm gonna stop there with the wash and just give that a second to dry. Flub? Oh, so it's a fledgling cub, a flub. Gotcha. That's pretty good. I was like, I made a flub, but yes, I like that. So when I go to do the highlights, once this is a little drier, I'm gonna go pretty light on the gray, just do some very mild in sort of this interstitial area, and I'll only bring the brown back up a little bit. A murder of flubs. I do think murder is the appropriate terminology for a group of owlbears because they are actually quite nasty. So I'm gonna bring the brown back up a bit, but the gray I want to keep on the darker side, so I'm not gonna highlight that particularly much or at all. The big areas where I am going to go a lot brighter is the feathers, but I wanted to get this dark under feather sort of effect to help sell the three-dimensionality of the feathers. So we're gonna hit the brown one and the feathers mostly, and leave. This is pretty good for the color of the sun bear. It's a little lighter than an actual sun bear. Sun bears are mostly black, but I find just painting something a mini black tends to just flatten it out too much. It tends to not show very well. I'm just darkening it back up because I was handling it a little too much. So that's why we're going with this sort of gray black. Just because it will show the miniature a little better, even if it is not as dark as an actual sun bear. But I don't think you'd see any of this contouring or fur texture if I had used actual black, or even anything close to proper black. So while that's drying, I have two other minis that I'm gonna be working on. And what I can do is we had one small issue on one of our minis in the print. It's pretty small. We have this centaur, which I'll probably be working on next time. But when it printed the spear here, which is, you can see it has a small fracture. Otherwise it came out pretty nice. So with that in mind, while that's drying, I'm going to use some glue. Owlbear cubs are actually pretty dangerous. Armor class 13, strength 7. Yeah, that's yeah, rare to have an animal with intelligence over 3. 2 attacks, beak, claw. Yeah, that's actually more deadly than like that's more deadly than yeah, you spend a little too much time on the internet. The owlbear cub is more deadly than a regular bear. Funny. So what we're gonna do is fix this little spear break, just a little bit. so that we can paint this centaur warrior next time. But to do that, we'll need a tiny bit of glue. And I really don't love the smell of this glue, but you know. We really don't need much, so I'm just getting a tiny drop. Mostly empty, so it's taking a second to get out of the bottle here. Come on. Are we there? Starting to wonder if it's plugged, which it very well might be. Yes, okay, it was plugged. Okay, ended up getting a little too much of that, but that's okay. We'll just ignore a good chunk of it. So we're just gonna get a tiny bit of glue. And sort of and then we'll prime over this. Camera, but it's just being a little tricky. Okay, that should do. So that'll set, and then we'll prime over it. Yeah, who knows? It's the centaur, the owlbear, they're not ridiculous, but using magic to mate is ridiculous. Right. Alright, so we're mostly dryish. You know, obviously there's a wet spot there, things like that, and I'm pretty happy with the color of the fur here. So all we're gonna do is a little bit of lightening of the brown on the underbelly. We don't need much, like 1 drop. And we're gonna try and sort of dry brush stipple now we've gotten into the mating process for centaurs. I like that stat block, the Owlbear cub, has an int of 12, which means it's like noticeably smarter than 9's Artabaxi Bard, who I think has an int of 8. You're getting into the not safe for work D&D world, which is quite humorous. But I probably won't read it all out loud. There you go. Also, it's a girl centaur. Like it's a, let me focus. Like, it's a lady centaur. Might also have something to do with it, but I already know where you're going to go with that, Medicinal Shire. I know that that doesn't necessarily preclude anything, but it might be the reason the model maker didn't make it that way. Yeah. So you're jumping into Star Trek now? I'm assuming you're referring to Khan and TOS being the original series era with his massive pectorals. I mean, I do like how do you go from like huge muscly Khan to Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan? Like that the movies were kind of weird in that way, because like part of it was supposed to be Khan wasn't just genetically modified to be super ultra smart, but also be like physically like the epitome of what humanity can be, kind of like is like the whole like idea behind Khan. And you know, I like Benedict Cumberbatch and stuff. Like, I'm not anti-Benedict Cumberbatch, but he doesn't sell to me as like the prime example of what like humans could be if they were genetically modified in morally questionable ways, you know? I'm sure there's people who will disagree with me, and you can put that in the comments on YouTube. So what I'm looking to do here is just bring the gold back up a bit on the feathers here. Still a little wet which is leading to a couple little problems here and there, but it's alright. I don't want to make you guys wait through another break while I wait for stuff to dry. I get what you're saying, but the entire Calvin timeline is weird and jacked up. Like, since when did Starfleet Academy turn into a place you enlist rather than the most prestigious school of star training out there? A place where warp drives are breweries and you can survive in tubes and not just straight up die from radiation poisoning. Is not the part I would choose to pick apart. I mean, all fair criticisms. Very fair. I don't think I even saw the most recent one, which was probably a few years ago at this point. They didn't, I don't know, they didn't feel quite Star Trek-y enough overall. I don't know, no one's named the Owlbear yet, so thus far they are nameless. We're getting our gold up a little more to build some contrast, and then we'll be adding on blue on top of that to get sort of the parody vibe. They're the Fast and Furious franchise of the Star Trek. You enjoy them, but they don't stand up against criticism. Yeah, that's fair. I think that works. I thought the casting was quite good on almost all of those movies. I like Chris Pine. I like the writer of Rohan guy who plays Bones. I don't know their names really, other than Chris Pine. Yeah, just recently. Just like Axon. Wet Jim is alive as far as we're aware. And enjoying life in Care Home. Alright, we bumped up the gold a bit. I think that's looking pretty nice. What I'm gonna do next is... I'll need to decide on a beak color. The beak, once the face goes on, it'll really start to like... It's amazing how much our brain... When are we going to paint and print and paint wet gym? Well, I could take one of the horses we have painted and just dip it in resin so it's all wet looking. Basically, I could, yeah, I could get a little thing of resin, clear resin, affix the horse on the end of a stick, dip it, and then just set the stick upright so excess resin can drip off, and it'll get sort of a gross wet horse look. I could do that. I'm probably not going to, but I could. What I was saying is it's amazing how quickly adding the face will bring the whole thing together. But what I'm going to do now is get the black paint. How many points do you need to spend for wet gym? Well, let me ask this. How many do you have? Because, you know... It's a lot. I'm gonna take my fine brush and put on the toenails. Claws. Getting those toenails put in, and then I'll probably add the blue. You might not be able to see this foot very well. Okay, we got our little claw toenails on. Oh, should do the eye sockets while I have the black. So we're going to get some black in the eye, where the eyes are going to be. And we're going a little wider on the eye spots to create that sort of bird black line around the eye. there. That'll create our little dark area. And then I'm also going to, on the, because we have an open beak, I'm gonna drop a little black on the inside of the beak. We'll be adding probably red or pink on the tongue. But I want to darken up this area. And let that dry, and then we'll do the tongue and the beak after that. Alright, so we gotten some of the black underlayer put in for the face and the toes. So now we're going to do some light blue on this gold for the feathering. We're doing this azure blue. Let me just clean off my brushes. And we will mix up our blue. Hydrate, alright. Thank you for the hydrate. I have been forgetting to drink the water. Alright, so we have this very nice, pretty sort of sky light blue. Okay. Thank you, Who. Are we good now? Your highlighted message is more wet, Jim. I don't have a wet gym. Oh, I see. This is the wet part. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yep. Here we go. Alright, I'm stretching. You want me to stretch and drink at the same time? Is that better? There you go. I'm waiting to see if there's any more coming this way. No? Okay. Well, you're saving your points to name shit. That's fair. This one doesn't have a name. You don't have a good name for this owlbear. That's fair. So, I'm gonna just slowly be adding some blue, mostly to the tips of the feathers here. They've established from stat blocks that submitted earlier that they have an intelligence superior to most humans. Yeah, he doesn't need to know what happened to Fervent. He doesn't need to guess what happened to Fervent because he was there. He's the one that did it. So in like canon D&D lore, it's loosely used canon. Traditionally, owlbears were created by a wizard who was just like messing around basically and just decided to combine an owl and a bear into a magical creature. Hence why they have sort of magical animal attributes and stuff. But maybe in the world of our D&D campaign, owlbears were created by like the fallout of like the Fervent explosion, and they're more accidental. Like mutants. Yeah, I think that's the in the US the park rangers were asked why they don't make bear proof trash bins that bears can't get into. And their actual stated answer is that the intelligence between the smartest bear and the dumbest tourist is about the same. So if they made bear-proof trash bins, there would be people who would not know how to use them. So once I get this blue put on, what we're gonna do actually is get this prismatic blue I have and do a similar treatment on top of that, just sort of building up layers. I still need to get the arms though. And it'll create this nice sort of shiny parrot feather effect. So, what I need to do is figure out where those prismatic paints are. They're not where they used to be. So excuse me for a minute while I look for them. They're there. Yes, relaxing hide and seek with Dice and Dungeons. Alright. So, we have these nice prismatic paints, and I'll probably use this lighter blue one. I got a little too much, but it's a little thicker. It kind of shoots out in a gloop. But as you can see, it's a very nice prismatic blue. So Ursus Gaius sans wingus. So that's without. So that's. Is Gaius like bird? So is it like bear bird without wings? Is what we're going there. Is that the rough translation? Trying to think of a good owlbear name. Well, who named the previous owlbear Hudifer Barrington? Yeah, bear gay with no bear gay earth with no wings. Because I know Ursus is bear, like Ursa Major, but I don't really know much Latin, and sans would be without. What about a good, like Todd? Todd is a good name for a bear. Got a nice prismatic vibe to it. Got sort of a loosely Hyacinth Macaw vibe going here. So one thing I'll need to do is I got a tiny speckle of prismatic on the back here, and I'll just try and sort of cover that up. I'm not sure how well the reflectivity and stuff is coming out on camera, but it has like this sort of mottled gold and blue feather. Steve the Owlbear. Yeah, Steve is a good name. So what we really need now, for the whole thing to come together, kind of, is we need the face to get painted in. The face is kind of the selling point that sort of binds the whole thing together. Evitz? Is that so Steve backwards? The face is what sort of binds the whole look together. And to do that, we'll need a couple things. One, we need a red tongue. So, a very tiny amount of our scarlet red. And then parrots tend to have whiter beaks, so I'm going to use this bone white. To do the beak itself. Okay. Sorry, I went a little quiet there, just trying to get that beak on. And unfortunately, that spot that I made, that was the prismatic, see, somehow I got a bunch of stuff on my glove and I messed up all over the leg. So after we get the face, I'm gonna have to do some cleanup where I messed things up. And this glove needs to go. Assert dominance. Start yelling into the mic. Ah! Like that. Do you feel dominated? I need RGB wireless headphone. Because I'm a streamer. So. Oh, you got it? I'm gonna get the eyes and then I'll see what it is. This is a very delicate. Stuff that eye slightly. Are we out of the... Oh, probably... I think it has like a reset on it, so people can't get into a name fight. I messed this eye up, this right eye a little, so I'm gonna have to clean that up with the black, unfortunately. So while that dries so I can clean it up, I'll fix my other mistake. Gaius Ursus Buffnitas? Is that a gay buff bear? Is that what that is? Alright, that's the name, Gaius Ursus Buffnitas. So I know this looks a little silly, but I messed up a few spots on our bear here. And they need to be retouched because I got the wrong color on them. So we're gonna have some spots. I got some like of the beak color and stuff. They're friends with the land shark. Buffnitas is actually a jank owl translation. So okay, so Buffnitas is some like loosely means owl. So it's gay owlbear in Latin. Roughly. Alright, that's their name now. Gaius Ursus Buffnitas. Yeah, I remember that when the Skittles made all the... It was something about how, like, we're leaving the rainbow for the gays. Basically. It wasn't the most thought out, I don't think. Let's see if I can fix this eye without absolutely hating everything. That seems alright. Gaius Ursus Bubus? What is that one mean? It's Latin instead of Romanian. And alright, gotcha. Oh, there we go. Yes, Ursus Bubus. Bubus? Something like that. Okay. So, now I'm just gonna take the black wash. Go over these correction spots. It won't be perfect, but according to Google, yeah. Well, Google is the preeminent scholar when it comes to all language. Really? Alright, I drank the whole mug. Let me finish this section. I see, thank you. You're burning the points, so it'll be official. I think that's probably good. You don't need to do any more. If you haven't hit it already. I have added it to the list of names. Up there. Alright, well, other than letting this dry, my corrections, I think I'm going to end it here because I have finished our Owlbear, and all that's left really is just Alright, well, what I'm gonna do is wrap up. You can feel free to keep spending points. I will mention it to her. And I'm gonna let this guy dry. And we will we'll see you all Friday, where I'll probably be painting this centaur. It just needs to be primed. So, thank you for watching, everyone, and we will see you Friday. Yes, we do our streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on Twitch, roughly 10 a.m. to at least now. This is a much shorter episode, but I have another job that I need to do, and I'm faster than Greg. So we'll yeah, we go up to 2. Thank you for, yes, so we have officially paid for the naming of the Owlbear. Good job. We'll see you all Friday for painting a centaurus, and think of a name by then, I guess. A centaur warrior. Yeah, so see you all then. Goodbye.